Hello everybody, and welcome back to another island breakdown. We're discussing another new island in OSRS that might be interesting to introduce regarding the sailing update in the future. This series was inspired by the devs' comments about having an island designing competition. They probably meant art, but hey, if they didn't, I got the design for you. We previously talked about the Coral Crescent Island design. If you haven't seen that video, please check it out down below. You'll have a whole series of these, and hopefully some of these ideas will stick. But today we're going to be talking about the Emerald Archipelago. I alluded to this in my first video redesigning the islands. As the name suggests, Emerald Archipelago is a bunch of tiny little islands jammed together, but there is plenty of room for flora and fauna growing on these little islands, giving them the green name Emerald. These islands are very dangerous to journey between and around. It's also known as a ship graveyard. So what better place to explore? For those skilled enough to make it to the archipelago, they'd find themselves in a state of turmoil. The inhabitants are warring. 3 separate tribes are at each other's throats, and pirates are here too? Well, first off, let's set the stage. It's a relatively rocky environment, kinda hard to get around. Mangrove swamps all over. You get the feeling it's what's keeping these islands together. And who knows, maybe we could start chopping some mangrove wood for our boats or other sailing activities. Or it could fill a niche like the different hardwoods do. The monsters that we're going to introduce are going to be jungle panthers, better known in OSRS as nail beasts. You'll be able to get the nail beast claws from what they drop, and I'm sure someone somewhere will be happy about a new nail beast claw drop. But it's not just on the land that you have to worry about some monsters. You have 2 new monsters in the water as well. The electro eels. These eels are like the monsters, the killer watts, that are already in the game. I'm expanding on that branch of creature that use electricity or need insulation gear. And these eels will be dropping something you're going to want. At a 1 in, let's say, 1 in 25 chance, they will be dropping the antenna off of the electro eel, for which you will upgrade your diving suit. But we can get into how we're going to do that later. The last monster you'll have to worry about is the razor fin shark. We already talked about adding a shark into the game for one of our previous episodes, but it's a whole new ballgame. This time, it's of course gonna drop a shark when you kill it, but it's also gonna drop its razor fin, which you can craft into a razor fin throwing knife. This could end up being the highest tier of throwing knives available, and the razor fin shark is no joke. Their levels could be like 100, 200 plus, hitting you with spinning attacks, AoE damage, and that could cause a bleeding effect. It could be really close to threatening like the demonic gorilla. But as you make your way around the block, you learn there are 3 separate tribes, and they all have problems that you need to solve. Pirates inhabit the ancient ruins at the center of the archipelago, and this is where the quest begins. Talking to the pirate captain inhabiting the ancient structure, you'll find that he's after an undersea artifact, a giant glistening pearl, also known as the Heart of the Sea. Eventually, you learn that the Heart of the Sea is a legendary artifact that can influence the ocean's current, and it's been missing for quite some time. Which is why the seas have been so unsteady, and hopefully a couple of quests for sailing will allude to that in the future. But even worse, you can't let the pirates take it for themselves. Its rightful place is within the ancient ruin to appease the seas, and you either have to convince the pirates of that or stop them. But before the locals will help you do anything to find the ancient pearl, you're gonna have to help them out. They must trust you enough to believe you will not doom the seas forever, and you'll do that by doing minor tasks around the village. Simple things like solving problems of frequent animal attacks or help them secure fresh water because a boulder is blocking their only source. It could be as simple as finding a way to cure the disease of the crops that they're growing. But after you've gone to each tribe, not only are you going to get a map piece that allows you to find the ancient pearl, but they're also going to teach you how to enhance your diving gear. Each one of the tribes has a specific secret. After completing the first tribe task, they're going to reinforce your diving suit so you can go deeper and deeper underwater. And that's 1 map piece. After completing the second tribe's task, they've significantly extended your underwater breathing duration by adding another tank, and that's now 2 map pieces. Bringing us to our third tribe that needs something done, you'll get the underwater lantern once you complete this task. Like a lanternfish, you can attach a lantern to your helmet to see in the deep, deep dark and find that pearl that you've been looking for. After completing those tasks, you'll get 3 pieces of a map you can put together to journey to an underwater ruin containing the giant pearl. You'd complete the quest after reclaiming the pearl and telling those pirates to get the F on or get out of the way. After completing the quest, you gain a decent understanding of pearls, granting you the ability to make pearl amulets, rings, bracelets, and necklaces. All of these different jewelries could have different effects. It could be specific to underwater, like increasing underwater breathing duration, or it could be as simple as increasing a defense bonus or a player's regeneration rate. But I'm certain these could occupy a very nice niche that we don't have covered in the game yet by introducing pearl jewelry. You know you want to give your friend a pearl necklace. Not only will you be keeping the pearls out of these clamshells, but you'll also be able to keep the oysters and clamshells too. Crushing up all the oyster shells would also let you make a new series of potions. A breathing potion that extends your underwater breathing time, or since you've crushed up a shell, it could increase your defense and your underwater breathing. But after the quest is said and done, we do actually have one more thing that you can do around the archipelago. Once you've completed the quest, united the tribes, and sent the pirates packing, Sunken Shipwreck Salvaging is available to you. I've had an idea like that for Fossil Island Part 2, but this one's different. Instead of restoring the ships on the bottom of the seas and bringing them to the surface to use, this type of shipwreck salvaging is meant for ships beyond repair. We're going in, finding what we can see that's useful, and getting the heck out of there. Dodging a bunch of dangerous traps laid by air vents, falling coral, and several other different monsters that you could encounter. Dodging through all of these things, we'll find normal resources like planks, oars, and logs. But the thing we're actually looking for down here is blueprints. You'll be able to get blueprints for a ship like a fishing trawler, a cargo hauler, or an exploration galleon, being able to upgrade your current ship or build a new one. And it doesn't just have to be blueprints for new ships either. It could be blueprints for specific amenities on the ship. You could find a captain's quarters that lets you have pretty much the Taj Mahal bedroom on your boat. There are extra storage hole blueprints, so there's an extra chest or 2 for allowing you to have prolonged sea adventures. We could also have blueprints for weapon enhancements to make like double, triple barrel harpoon guns. There are so many different locations around the archipelago where these shipwrecks can be salvaged because it's essentially a pirate ship graveyard. So that leaves us lots of opportunities for exploration, and it could even be, if the devs wanted to go in this direction, endless undersea generation like they do for endless dungeons for the Gauntlet. But what do you think about this idea, everybody? Would you travel to the Emerald Archipelago if you could? What would you add if you could add something to this idea? But hey everybody, thanks so much for watching, and if you like this video, don't forget to like, comment, or subscribe, and we'll see you all later.